Guys, welcome back. I already filmed this, so I apologize if I'm a little jumpy here and there with what I talk about. It's just because something happened with the dog and the keyboard and stopped recording, and that's great. But it gives me a chance to try this again, I guess. First thing I wanted to talk about today was just how nice the weather was today. I mean, I forget how much I need the sun when I don't have it for multiple months in a row. Like, I know we've had a little bit of sun here and there, but today was genuinely just a nice day. I was able to go outside and take my dog for a walk slash jog with one jacket on. That is my normal right now. I'm from California. I'm not used to this. One jacket was a nice day. Whereas in California, no jacket was the normal. So I'm just a little bit shook that, I had to wear two jackets for the entire winter. But very happy with how today was. She's been very good. She's been learning her commands better. She's been getting really well with dogs. She's getting a little bit better with people. Just a little bit. Still goes off the rails a little bit, but we're working on that. But I got my exercise. My first time jogging in a while, and I realized just how out of shape I am. I mean, I have been doing workouts on the side, but they've been mostly strength training because I've been trying to build up my muscles that I lost a couple years ago. So now I'm back to a normal state of muscle mass, now to get stronger. But yeah, she definitely was trotting while I was jogging. So a little bit insulting, but I'll take it where I can. We'll work on it. We'll work on my cardio with her walks. She has been a little distracting today, so give me just a second. Hi, sweetheart. Are you hungry? The next thing that I wanted to talk about, actually, was nicknames. Nicknames that people give themselves usually. I have a hard time with calling you something that you gave yourself as a nickname, or something that just doesn't match you or my energy with you. Like, I have a couple of friends that, first off, let me just say I don't have a lot of nicknames. The most interesting nickname I got from my dad, and he calls me a porcupine from time to time because I'm cute but dangerous, apparently. But other than that, my nicknames have been Allie. That's one. I do let one person call me Al, but she earned that right. She was my best friend at a young age, so she broke me down. I'm still not a fan of it, but I'll allow it. But yeah, there are some people where it's hard to change what you call somebody. So we had one person who tried to change names in the middle of a school year when we were really young, and we had already known him already, so we're like, no, we're not going to call you that. It didn't stick, really. And then later on, there was another kid who joined the school with the exact same name, with the exact nickname that the other kid wanted. So we continued to call him that, even though they had the same name, but that one already introduced to themselves with that nickname. So that became what everybody called them. Like, I understand that. It's just a little strange. It's like, it's weird how we get to know someone in this certain way, and then they want to change, but no one will allow it. Like, if anyone's watched The Office recently, and seen the episode where Andy comes back after going away from anger issues from punching the wall, and he's like, I go by Drew now. It's like, okay, Andy, yeah, for sure, I'll call you Drew. See you later, Andy. And no one just listens to him because they already know what his name is. They're like, I'm gonna continue calling. I mean, I know for adults it's harder to change for sure. Hi, Cece. For adults, it's harder to change what you call somebody. But even as a kid, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna call you that. I already know you as this name. Like, I know my sister for a little while wanted to go by the nickname Beth, and I'm like, no, I'm still gonna call you Liz because that's how I know you. Like, I know it's rude, but it's still you. I mean, I know the only reason I can understand where it's actually insulting is if you don't use someone's transition name. Like, if they're transitioning from one gender to another, so they choose their new name, their new identity name. Like, I can understand the issues, like, or not issues, I can understand instances like that because it's, I guess to me it doesn't feel as shallow. Because some people, they just don't like what people call them. They just don't like their name. And growing up for me, I'm like, but I already know you as this name. I like you. So I don't see what the issue is with me still calling you this. If we don't have beef, like, I never got it. I never understood it. I'm like, why can't I just call you this still? I'm not going to change it. I've known you for years. I'm not going to change it. Unless it's like, I mean, I guess if it's that important to you. But for the most part, it doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. I mean, I know with, culturally, I know some people have nicknames that are different from their given name because, you know, they're a junior or a third or they're somewhere down the line like that. Like, I know my husband, him and his dad have the same name, so he has a different nickname with his family. Like, instead of Francisco, it's Paco, which is nothing like his given name, but it's tradition, kind of. It's just how their culture deals with names like that, I guess. Like, a lot of people have nicknames because their names are all convoluted, I guess. Like, even his mom had no, she just has multiple names, so they call her by a specific. It's different name in America, different name in Mexico. It's a lot to keep track of. I'm working on it. But so things like that I can understand. But I remember one guy in high school. This was before I understood that, and his nickname was Chewy, which I thought was Chewy. A little different. Which I learned from Francisco today that the pronunciation is a little different. But I didn't understand it back then. I'm like, why is that your nickname? Like, that sounds really weird. But then I learned it was cultural. I'm like, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut then. I guess I had a thing with his nickname just because I didn't really like his personality. But what are you going to do? It was high school. Didn't like most people. Yeah. So, have your name however you want it to be. But if I met you one way, it's going to be hard for me to change. And I know a lot of people are like that. But I do feel bad for when I do that to people. But I don't see the issue if it's still your name. You know? If your nickname is just a different part of your name, it's not a big difference for me. I know it may be for you, but if it's a huge deal, I guess explain that to me. If, like, I'm willing to be understanding and do what you need if it's really important to you. But if it's just a name change that's slightly different, I'm not doing it. There are fun nicknames between friends. Like, I know growing up, I didn't say people's names very often, for unless it was for, say I was in a team, or even with my close friends, I would say their names, but only for like getting their attention or something. It's not something that I said all too often. And I guess for friends, it was more fun because, especially in high school and college, especially college for some reason, saying someone's name but just saying it wrong, like changing the end of their name to be something weird. Like, say my friend Drew, we'll call him Drusif or something like that because it's just funny. Other than that, nicknames are not really a part of my repertoire, I guess. I'm not really keen on them. I don't have a knack for making up nicknames, so they're not really something that I do often. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It's weird. It's weird. I know, I'm being really nitpicky right now. But it's something that I noticed today. So I know it's not a big deal, it's just something that I noticed. But anyway, I think I'm going to end that there just so I can keep an eye on my dog because she's getting into some stuff. She's doing a little bit better now, but earlier she was really getting on my nerves. So I'm going to spend some time with her, maybe get her energy out a little bit more. I know I already ran with her today, but nothing is enough for a puppy. And she's not even a year old yet. So she's still a puppy, even though she's basically more than a third of my weight, or a third of my weight, something like that. I don't know. She finally turned 50 pounds. She's finally hit that mark. So she can fit into the harness that we bought for her early on because we didn't know the sizing. But now she kind of fits into it, so we got our money's worth. Yes. That's what we like to hear. I didn't want to get rid of it. I'm like, I paid money for this. Don't make me. She already made me buy a new leash because she chewed into the other one. I mean, I think I sleepishly left it in her cage after taking her out in the middle of the night. So I don't really feel bad about it. But I did have to buy an entirely new leash for her. Which wasn't expecting to do only a couple months in. But I guess I'm not surprised. It's a dog, it's a big dog, it's a big dog with big teeth. She's going to want to chew on things, so she really makes it her job. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say for today. I'm just talking about nicknames, I guess. Tell me what your nickname is if you've got a weird one. I would love to hear it. Even though I have a hard time coming around to people who change their names, I am very curious as to what people call themselves. Because I've always had my normal 4-letter word, A-L-L-Y. So, not very creative. Let me know if you have something like porcupine. Hopefully yours is more endearing. I love mine, but it's not very cuddly. Anyway, I'll talk to you later, guys. See ya.